Okay, I hear we are live. Okay, there we go. Hi everybody. This talk will be way out of my comfort zone, not only because it's not about a technical subject, but also because it's a short talk. So I prepared few slides on purpose, but I hope I can still tell my story. So yeah, it's not really what happened, but it felt like it. This is the kind of stuff that I hope is recognizable for you. You have this project manager that asks you to explain the secure hash instant tokenization to the team. And then you think, wait a minute, as far as I know, it doesn't exist. And also the acronym is a little bit weird. And then sales, who already sold the product to the customer, said, well, wait a minute, you cannot delay this. There's big money here and it's important and we cannot afford to miss that. And then your boss says, well, I hear weird stories, and it's because that the client called the boss, and his client said, well, yeah, your specialist, he's not doing what we ask, he's not competent. And so my stress level goes up and further up, and then, yeah, I get stuck. And then I get a call by the team leader, oh, don't worry, we already fixed it, and then they have some weird solution that, of course, is not compliant and everything. This is... You must recognize this. And then you have all this technical knowledge, and you know you thought you understood your problem, but you're still not up to what's expected from you. Well, there is a way to get out of this, but you cannot do it alone. So, yeah, here's the summary. You know the technical stuff. Here, this tech format, everybody is technical here. We all have our own specialism, but it's still, is this thing moving? Yeah, this thing is moving. But you cannot get further until you fix that problem. And then after that, you can go to the technical problems. What you need is a fresh viewpoint. Well, a friend of mine recommended to show this slide. Personally, I do not watch the show. But there they have this thing called intervention. It's not the same as Intervision, but the idea is the same. What you need is a viewpoint from someone else, from outside, who can help you see what you cannot see yourself. So there is a difference between intervention and intervision. Intervision is something you ask for yourself, and intervention is somebody that's forced upon you by others. But the point is the same. And of course, we all know it is, if you are stuck in this situation, you need help. But asking for help, especially for the technical nerds, is not that easy. And the reasons why you need that help can be quite, well, I showed a few of them. They can be communication problems, they can be people that don't trust you, or you don't trust them, or you don't understand them, or there can be very subtle things, even bullying behind it. And, well, yeah. Okay, okay, we are there. And, yeah, what the effect on you will be that you're not happy in your situation, you cannot be productive as you're supposed to be, and that needs to be stopped. So the solution to this is sit together and discuss your problems. But that's not what we do. We are technical people. We go to meetings, we solve technical problems. So what you need is to create a situation in which it is possible for everybody to discuss those situations. And that's what Intervision is. And I was, for some reason, talking to this about my piano teacher, and then I heard that he's also doing Intervision about teaching music problems with other teachers. So it's really not technical, but it doesn't mean that it's not useful. So, in a way, this is more or less the summary of my whole talk. If you understand this slide, then we are done. So let's go through it and let's see if I understand the clever technology we have here. Oh yeah, it works. So at the beginning of the meeting, there's the setup. That's really important. You declare the size of this meeting is like 4 to 10 people. You can do it with your own team. I did it with Tech Squad, which really worked. You can also do it in your work team, or you can just find a group of people who is willing to do it. Maybe we should set up something that brings people together who want to do Intervision, because it really is not important if they completely understand what you're busy with, as long as they understand the kind of problems they have. So, but the start is that you should declare to each other that you respect each other, you're not going to judge, and you're really going to listen to each other and help each other. After that, it only takes a few minutes, but it's important because it builds the level of trust you need in order to fix the problems. I was waving my hands and talking. So then, there are different ways of intervision. The last one I did worked with that one of, basically everybody came in already prepared, I asked them in the invitation, with something you get stuck on. There's always something to get stuck on. The hard part is admitting that you're stuck and also admitting that you need help. So that's what the previous slide showed. So coming in there with something that you really feel like you need help with is important because it also builds the kind of vulnerability that you need in order to trust each other. And what I did, but also there might be different forms, but this one turned out to work, is just everybody gives a one-line description, really cut down the time, not more than a minute, where they say, well, I like to get help with this. And then after everybody told their story, takes there were 5 people there, 5 minutes. We described some fixed criteria. I didn't write them down here, but there's a link in the slides. And if you cannot find the slides, contact me because, well, there's not much time in this session, so I will probably also not have much time for questions. But if you remember my first name, then you will find me, but there's only one of me in this 20,000 person company, so that's convenient. And so we decided some fixed criteria, like how important do you think the problem is for a certain person, how much do you think solving this problem helps the group, and so on. And then we voted on it, and then, well, somebody was able to tell the problem. Then the presentation of the problem is quite important. There's, of course, again, a time limit. And because it is always about non-technical problems, try to explain the problem without technical terms. You can use the one or the other acronym. I mean, we all know acronyms like FS and MS, those are not important. But it's important that the people who are not specialists in your area also understand what it's about. And if it's about what it's supposed to be about, the technical details should not be important. So after this presentation, it's a little bit hard to. Okay, I have more time than I was afraid of. That's good. After this presentation, then people can ask questions and make sure that they understand in depth what the actual problem is. And if everybody has the feeling, okay, we know that, then the scariest part of the whole thing starts. Yeah. Oh, wrong button. That's you can also press the wrong button. It's really hard. Then we start with removing in Teams. That is, you can do this physically. I forgot to. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. I found out after not believing in it myself that you can do this as an online meeting. Before that I've done it several times with physical meetings, and then you open the door and you gently push someone out the room. But with Teams, this is way easier. Just click a button and poof, there she goes. And then in this 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour, the rest of the group, as serious as possible, tries to discuss and figure out, okay, we've seen the problem, and we now all have all kinds of solutions in our heads, but that might not be the best one. Can we discuss, and how can we formulate this as advice? And it's very important that the person is not there, because sometimes you need to say things that are, say, really hard to hear and also do not really help. Things like, well, I think she doesn't really understand the problem. Maybe we should make sure that or maybe she's just too afraid, or things like that. And you don't want to hear that if you are the presenter of the problem, but it still needs to be said. And so it's part of the respect for a person that she's not there. I'm saying she here because, well, yeah, that happens to be the last intervention where the presenter was a female, but can be anything. He, she, whatever. And so after that time, when you have the feeling, okay, we have something that we can give, and then you get back to the intervention picture, because then it becomes what an intervention is. Then person is invited into the meeting, and then you tell her, him, what you think is the best advice to continue. And I find this always really hard, because then it gets really personal. And that's where the way you started with respect becomes the most important. But if it works, and to be honest, I've done it like about 10 times now, every single time, not only did the person who heard the advice think, thank you very much, that is something I didn't think of, and thanks for giving me the feeling that I can get further on, but also the rest of the group had the feeling that they learned something. The whole process, what happens here, is just as important for the group as what happens here is for the presenter. That is that you learn something that helps you not only getting out of your whatever got you stuck today, but also helps you with the mindset that you need to grow and to be better in preparing yourself for the kind of stuff that happens. It will happen again, you will get stuck again, but maybe next time you're scared just that little bit less. That makes you better in your work. So, this is a quick summary of how to make those sessions work. That is, you have to be vulnerable yourself and also allow the others to be vulnerable. And now I feel how far I am out of my own comfort zone. I've never heard myself say something like this to people. It's really weird experience, by the way. So, mutual trust, no judging. If somebody says that they have a problem, they have a problem. And if you think that's not a problem, ignore that. If they think they have a problem, then it is true. Otherwise, they wouldn't say it. And this I found out later. First, I only did the intervisions with our team, and then later I discovered that if you do intervisions with people that, say, are colleagues, or even I've also done it with non-colleagues in a training with other companies, even then it does work. And then making that feeling of trust sometimes is easier to get. Another thing is really important is time limits. Not only because you can then squeeze the whole intervision in an hour, it just fits if you don't have too many people, but also otherwise, especially if you try to explain your problem, then you get more and more involved, and you tend to tell more and more details that are not important. And also, in order to explain the solution to someone, being brief forces you to better explain it. And if that all works, then you create something magical that I don't understand what it is, but only if I see it. That is a group process. And last time I did it, I asked them for making words in a word cloud, and the biggest word was caring. And almost tears broke almost out, because that was what I wanted to create. And that was my last slide. I'm surprised myself. That cannot be, by the way, because I thought I had another slide. Where is my actual last slide? Is that a slide that was hidden? Let me try typing some interesting buttons. No. There was another slide. Hello? It takes some time. Yeah, it does take. Oh, see, there are more slides. Are they hidden slides, or what did I do? No. Okay. Oh, it's not there. Shift F5, and it also takes a while, but I can. Why doesn't Shift F5 work? Oh my God. Talking about non-technical problems. Oh yeah, there. Somebody really hates me. It's not Bill. I don't like it. Oh, okay, you know what? We'll just live with what I have. So, it's a little bit smaller, but who cares? I put a procedure on Confluence. This is the one I used for my last intervision session. I put it a little bit on the slide. I put the words under construction on there to tell you that even the procedure itself should be accepted by the group as a whole. So what I did was, and I'm not saying that's the best way, I put the procedure in the invitation email and said, I'm planning to do this. I'm not saying that this is the best Intervision ever, but it's what I collected during my experiences and discussed with people. If there's something in there that you don't feel like... For example, I suggested not to remove the person from the room. And then a few people, more than one, told me that, of course, in a Teams meeting, that sounds like the logical thing to do, but it doesn't work. So we did move her out, and things indeed were said that I think she's happy with, that she didn't hear that way, but we could say it in a more constructive way. So, yeah, all that now is remain to say is good luck with your next Intervision. I hope I inspired you, and I hope I can make you all a little bit more productive and also a little bit more caring for your colleagues by doing this once with a team and learning from it. Thank you for your attention.